Fight on!
Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to Top Tier Arcade. My name is Steve, and you're back with me in the apartment. In this video, we're taking a look at Killer Instinct Arcade Part 1, the pickup. Yes, we're going to go through the pickup, how I got this machine, and all the lunacy that always happens in these damn pickups. So, again, we're going to be jumping out of order, because after I had the Double Dragon, technically I got my Street Fighter 1 Deluxe cabinet, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait to do that one. And then my Mortal Kombat 2. But because they're in my parents' garage, like I explained in my Double Dragon Part 5 video, the gameplay, that it's still cold. It's still winter, man. It's Toronto. It's the East Coast. I'm still freezing out there. It's in my parents' garage. I can't really get in there and, make it spring or summified. I can't do that yet. So I'm going to just jump to these, and it's convenient. They're right here, because by the time I do Killer Instinct and Killer Instinct 2, it's going to be perfect timing, so I can't wait. So let's get right into it. We're going to be taking a look at the pickup, how much I paid for it, and all again, what's involved in the pickup. So here's the story. Let's get right into it. So 6 months ago, like I said in my other videos, if you haven't watched, I wanted to build, a game. Not from scratch, really. I wanted a cabinet with a good monitor, and then I'll, paint it if I have to. I have the marquee and whatever. So my wife's like, look, I know you really want that game. I know a lot of your friends like that game. And, if you're going to get it, just get it. And she couldn't believe she's saying that, because she knows that she only told me I can get Ms. Pac-Man. And lo and behold, now I have 9. Anyway, so I'm making my new game that I haven't revealed yet. And I haven't revealed yet because it's going to be a big one. And one of my favorite ones. And damn, I have so much, history and memories about that. But that's a whole other video. I don't want to take too much time. So anyways, 3 months pass. And it's in my mind I want to get this other game. Now, I've been, in the last 3 months, collecting all of its components. I have the T-molding, the marquee, the bezel, the CPO, the buttons, the controllers, the coin mechs. What am I missing? Oh, the instruction cards, the actual PCB I have. Anyways, I don't know what else I'm missing, but anyway, I'm complete. I'm good. So I have all the elements, and that's what I was gonna make. So I'm looking online for a decent deal on a cabinet, an empty cabinet with the monitor. So I'm like, all right, and I'm looking. Well, what happens? About 2 months ago, around 2 months ago now, maybe 2.5 months, these two machines come up, Killer Instinct 1 and 2, online. And they were side by side. I'm like, wow, finding Killer Instinct 1 and 2, they look to be in very good condition. Together, I'm like, hey, that's pretty rare. Now, mind you, I'm in Canada, so we're a little less limited, or more limited, I should say, than the US. But either way, there's still a big following in our arcades here, so I'm like, hey, that's not bad. They look all right. Now, I wasn't looking for them. But again, these are one of the ones that are on my to-do or to-get list. It's going to happen. I'm getting them eventually. So I'm like, I always scope out prices for all the games I want anyways. Let me just see how much they're going for to get a feel, all right? What's going on? So, each game, now it only had one picture. It only showed this, nothing else. The description was very limited. It said Killer Instinct. In the description it said Killer Instinct 1 and Killer Instinct 2. I'm selling both machines. They're great from the factory, great games. Let me know if interested. Now they're going for $1,200 each. Now it's Canadian money. $1,200 each. I'm like, no, I'm done. And I'm looking at them, and my wife's like, well, what are you looking at? I'm like, these are the games I want to eventually get. And I'm very organized. So every game I want, I see when I got it and how much it was and the condition, you know, from an A+ to an F, like in grade, like school and grading. and I went how much it was. So I have a list of when I see them, how much they are. Because sometimes games become really hot, and they're more money, or if they're not so hot, they're less money. So what happened was, I'm writing down, the price guide. My wife's like, fair, I don't care. Like, you're doing your research, which is good, because it helps to save money, and you're going to get a better buy, right? Fine. So I'm looking at them strictly for educational reasons. They're $1,200 each. 1 week goes by. The price lowers to $1,100 each. And I'm like, weird, why would... These games are hot right now. I know they're on the come up, big time. Because now as the generation grows, like myself, people that were born in the 80s, played in the 90s, is, now it's kind of, what they used to play with. So they know these games. So, and I know these are up and coming. I'm like, wow, these would be cool to have, but not yet. We got bigger priorities, like I told you before in my life. So I see it going down to 100 each in a week. I'm like, wow, that's heavy. Maybe 25, maybe 50, $100. So I look at them week by week out of curiosity. They're $1,200 each. The week passes, second week, it goes down to $1,000 each. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? What's wrong with these? Why would someone that knows lower them that quickly? I've never seen this before. Usually, they wait a month. If they don't see anything, maybe it's lowered, or they change a picture just to kind of attract more people. So this is what you guys have to think of. You have to think logically. If I know that these games are good, and I'm not saying the buyer's dumb or whatever, but you can kind of sense the urgency. You can sense, maybe get in their head. Look at pricing. If you I know that a lot of other arcade guys are saying, giving tips, which I love to do because I listen to them. It's my turn to give to you as much as I can. So look at the ad, see what it looks like with pictures, look for spelling mistakes, look for where they live, if it's worth the drive, look for how much it is. Wait maybe a week and how many hits it gets. Like some sites I go on, a couple of them say how many hits it got. If there's not too many, and you started lowering the pricing, they're wanting to sell. So look for spelling errors. Look where it is. Like where I saw the picture was, it looked like it was kind of in like a storage facility or a basement. Excuse me, a storage facility or like a garage, which is good because if it's in a game room like this or like a nice done-up game room, that they're asking more, they know what they're talking about, and that's part of that's their baby. So getting rid of it's going to be either big money or they're going to ask for something a little more. So I'm looking at this, there's spelling mistakes, it's not grammatically perfect. I think, Killer Instinct, I don't know if it was even spelt wrong. Whatever. There's only one picture, there's a jacket thrown on the control panel, there's beside buckets of paint. And I'm like, this is not a collector like us, or like me, or like other guys that have like their perfectly set up arcade. So, and I'm wondering, so that gives me a tip saying that they have it, they care to make money, but it's not a sense of urgency. Like, so there's a sense, like, it's not like, yeah, I'm selling it, but I know what I'm talking about, you're going to give me good money. Because they know. So I'm seeing it, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It's on there, the money, it's a week $100 off. Some games are $100. So I'm like, okay. So it's telltale signs of something's up. I leave it. Remember, I'm still not interested. I'm just curious. Well, let's be honest. I was interested, but it wasn't a priority. I had another game coming. Another week goes by. They're $1,000 each. They add a new picture to the same posting, and they change the wording a little. It showed a closer picture, because before it had the games off. You don't know if the monitor works. The new one had the monitors on, which is beautiful. And I'm like, okay, now I know the monitors work. They look all right. Doesn't look faded. I mean, hard to tell from, when you're 10 foot away, but still. They look vibrant. And it looks all right? So I'm like, cool. Now they have pictures. So I'm like, they want more people to look at this damn thing. The price was at $1,000 each. I told my wife, hey, I'm very honest with her. A lot of people ask me, how does your wife let you? Well, I'm a man. I'm married. My wife doesn't have to tell me anything. If I want something that badly, we're in this together as a union of marriage. If I want it and it's my hobby, I'm fucking getting it. I'm sorry to swear, but it's getting to the point now, it's pissing me off. You know, how does your wife let you? What do you mean let me? I'm a man. I'm a grown man. I married her for a reason. And if my wife had that many problems with it, I'd leave her or leave the hobby. It's one or the other. So, and I'm passionate about this because, and I'm going to be maybe even doing a video on, I guess, you know, even like collecting and, you know, how to convince people just to get you off your back. Anyways, I digress. So my wife is pretty okay with it. She goes, yeah, sure, okay, Steve, you know, if you're going to email me, it's too expensive. I can't spend $2,000. I can't. Because I already spent, you know, maybe $200 getting all the elements of the other game I want to make. And also and I want the cabinet for maybe like a good one, for like maybe 400-ish, for maybe 500 if the arcade's good and it's been maybe capped, so make the whole game around 6, 7, whatever. Because I don't want to do the work that much, honestly. Like I said before, I'd rather work more overtime and like less aggravation in the machines. If I have to fix it, I'll get in there. But if not, I don't want to. I'll be honest. So, anyways, okay, let's get to it. So, I send the guy an email, and I'm like, "Hey, machines look great. I've been looking at them for a few weeks." So they know, now I'm doing this on purpose saying I'm interested. But they also know that I'm not an asshole and I'm not stupid. I know that you just lowered each game $200. That's $400 gone from you. So that's because usually I don't say, but this time I did because I'm leveraged. Look, I'm in sales, man. That's what I do, so I'm not a fool. But I don't have patience either because I know I can get these games cheaper, but I really don't. I really don't have patience. But anyways, I sent him an email just to see what he says. And I told my wife, I want it out of my head because I'm looking at these and I'm getting excited again. I'm like, oh my God, I want these games. These are my babies. I'm a fighting game guy. And my wife's like, it's not good timing. I'm going to cut your dick. Anyways, and I'm like, okay, look, let me send this guy an email, right? Let me see what he's saying. I want him to say no. That's what I'm looking for. It's like going to the hottest girl in the club. No one's talking to her. She's going to say no. I want to just hear it so I can move on to some other grenade so I can just get it in. Tell me no. I want to hear no. Please, I don't want to buy these now. I don't. I just want to do my other game and just leave these for later on when I build my bigger arcade. When I have room. I lowball them. Well, you know, I did not a piss-off lowball, a fair lowball. So I'm like, hey man, the machines look good. I'm looking at them. Would you take $1,400 for both machines? That'd be $700 each. For these, I think it's a steal, the way that they are. I want him to say no. Frankly, I want him to tell me to go F myself. So I'd be like, oh yes, okay, good, I can move on. Of course he doesn't. Now, the responder was a female. Not to say women don't know their machines. I'm not saying that. But not as much as guys. I mean, let's be honest. There's more girls that knit than guys. So if I ask someone that's knitting and they think I'm a guy, they're going to think I'm an idiot. It's just the way it is. I'm like, yes, I'm salivating. I'm like, oh my God, it's the perfect storm. It looks like to be in a storage facility. It's not their hobby. Prices are going down, spelling mistakes, more pictures. We want it out of here. It's what it's telling me. It's like a girl like this. She's not saying nothing, but that shirt's coming mighty low. This is what's happening. This is Killer Instinct. This is what's happening. Eventually, Steve's going to attack. It's Greek hammer time. Hammer! I go in for the kill. She's like, Steve, thanks for responding. And I was nice though, not a dick, like, what's the price? I'm like, hi, you know, everything looks good. I'm like, look, $700 each, she said, that's a little low, I'll get back to you. I didn't hear anything from a week. So that to me is like, no. She's nice, she's being polite to me, she's saying no. Alright, we're done. Thank God. I was at, okay, that was on like a Monday when I do my videos usually. On the Thursday, no, yes, on the Thursday of that week, I send a follow-up email. I'm like, hi, it's Steve again. I understand that you want to, look over your options as new potential buyers. I am still interested. If you've sold the machines, please let me know so I can get them off my list and I can move forward. Nice enough, yeah? Hey, Steve, we're still thinking about it. I had another people look at them, but they couldn't spend more than $500 each. So already I know I got them more. She said, give me a day or two and let me, and I'll email you to see if that person maybe wants to bump their price. I'm still thinking, oh my God, just tell me no, I don't want these. Like, I want them, but I don't want them. It's happening. I'm at work on Saturday. I go in for overtime. It's a cold, this is beginning of February. It's a cold winter's day in Toronto, Canada. Cold. Damn cold. Negative, with wind 30. Like, you're dead cold. And that's Celsius. So Fahrenheit, I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot, like really cold. Anyways. I'm at work, I'm on lunch. And I have 15 minutes to just go and, because usually in my break when I'm bored, no one's there on Saturdays, I just watch YouTube videos. All my guys I subscribe to, TNT, John's Arcade, my God, who else? Your MK Arcade, all those guys, everyone's on my list I actually watch often. I like almost everyone. So I'm watching all the videos and I'm like, okay, let's waste time, let me go back to work, let's get the hell out of here. So I'm cold, I'm free, I want to go home. I get an email, I send her an email. I'm like, hey, it's Steve again. Just want to let you know that I wanted to see if you're still interested. If not, I'll move forward. Thanks for your consideration for my offer. Hey, Steve, if you're available to pick it up today, it's noon on a Saturday. It's snowing. No, it's not even snowing. It's so cold you can freeze your balls off. I don't have preparation. I didn't even tell my wife. I'm thinking it's over, right? She says, if you bump it to $1,500 for both tonight to pick them up, you have yourself a deal. This is what I get. This. I call my wife, who's grocery shopping. I'm like, hey Mary, I have to talk to you. She's like, oh my God, what's happening? Now this is before my grandmother passed, and she's like, oh my God, because she was ill. And I'm like, Mary, look, you know the Killer Instinct I was showing you? She goes, yeah. What about him? I'm like, I made her an offer and lowballed it so she can tell me no. She goes, yeah, you told me that. So what did they say? She said $1,500 for both. She's like, oh, that's a good deal. I'm like, I know it is. And I just agreed to buy them. Dead silence for 10 seconds. You know how long 10 seconds is silence from a wife? Like this. I won't do it. It's going to take too long. I'm already rambling. Anyway, so 10 seconds of silence. I thought she was dead. I'm like, Mary, are you there? She goes, oh, I'm there. She goes, I don't even know what to tell you. Where are you going to put them? I'm like, I don't know. My parents grew up. I don't know. I have friends. I don't know. She goes, Steve, I love you. I don't know what to tell you. Do whatever you want. I just don't want to be involved in the pickup because I still hate you when it comes to that. I'm like, fine. I email the lady back. She goes, here's my husband's number. Let us know when you're on the way. And I'm like, okay. Now, a friend of mine who helped me picks up games, a few days before I called. I get on the phone. Who's calling me? Anyways, so I pretty much just say, okay, look, I told my friend that, hey, this might happen. He goes, okay, let me know. We'll just go do it. Cool. Here's a problem. Because it's so last notice, a friend of mine has family obligations. He goes, Steve, I can't. I have to go take my wife, my pregnant wife, to go see her family. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, can you do it? He goes, Steve, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. Totally cool. I'm like, what am I going to do? I call U-Haul. I call Budget. Whatever, for a truck. And I'm like, hi, my name is Steve. I'm looking for a truck today, like now, like in 3 hours. My shift ended at 4, like whatever. They say, we don't have nothing available. They go, because I didn't want to drive too far, because now I want to make it there in time. Because for them, they said, look, we're going to be home until 10:30, 11. After that, we're going to bed. It's too late. Like so between 4 to 11, I have to get these 2 games out of there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm panicking. Because I don't want to lose the deal. I called my wife again. I'm like, go to the bank, get money now. I need money. Now I had money set aside, cash, for the other machine I'm going to build. I'm like, take that money, add to that, make $1,500. I don't care. Have it cash, have it in hundreds. She's like, Steve, oh my God, it's late. I'm like, just go to the bank and get it. Again, here's the crazy Steve of the pickup. It begins. I don't know what comes over me. I don't care. When I want it, I want it. I don't want to hear it. I don't give a shit. Get the money. Here, meet me at the apartment at 4. Pick me up at work. At 4:05, I'm out the door. I want you there, and I'm going to make arrangements. You understand? She goes, oh my God, Steve, yes, okay. I'm just going nuts already. Now I'm frantic. I'm panicking. How am I going to get these games out? I'm going to lose the deal. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm like, I email her back. Is there a way we can do it Sunday? My friend with the truck said we can do it Sunday together. No problem. Steve, we can't. We have obligations. We have a hockey tournament. Fuck. For like a week. You know how these kids go to play? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, wait. How am I going to do? I'm like, when there's a will, there's a way. In anything in life I've learned, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm dedicated, I'm passionate, I'm getting it. I don't care. I call my cousin, the Double Dragon cousin. If you haven't seen that, look at the pickup Double Dragon, you'll die. I'm like, John, where are you? He goes, oh my God, Steve, it's not that time again. I'm like, you got it. Be at my parents' house. They live close. Be at my parents' house exactly at 4:30. If you're not, you're dead. Oh my God, what game are you getting? I'm like, just meet me there. He gets there. My other cousin, his brother, was working. So I'm like, that's cool. So I'm like, be there, be ready, don't say a word. You know the rules with a pickup. I'm sergeant, you're soldier. I do what you tell. I'm not doing it to be mean. You have to be militant. I'm going to tell you, you obey. Period. You understand? Yes, be there. Be ready, bring gloves. Oh my God. I call my dad. And he knows. I'm like, hey, ba. He goes, you buy those stupid game. Again, you buy the stupid game, Stevie? I know you. I'm like, where are you? He goes, I'm not working today. It's too cold. He's a painter. So he couldn't be. It was an outdoor job. He couldn't do it. It's too cold. Or what, I don't know. And I'm like, take the paint cans out of your van. I'll be there at 4:30. He goes, oh, you buy another game? I'm like, take the paint cans out. I'm going to jail if you say another word. I'm going to kill you all. Okay, Steve, okay. My wife picks me up. My cousin's there. It's snowing now. I'm losing it, and it's freezing rain. Slippery as shit, dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. The game's like 600 pounds. With us in it, I'm scared, man. Anyway, so my dad is in a minivan. The one I picked up Mortal Kombat. So I get there, and it's like 4:45 because we had to go slow. There's traffic because it was busy and it was snowing and cold. My cousin's there now. We have to take the seats. Remember these infamous seats in the back of a damn minivan? I had to take them out, and I didn't know how because before, you know, the other guys did them when I did Double Dragon. So I'm like, I don't know how to take these out, and when I say I'm incredible hulking these out, they won't move. It's steel. So I go online on YouTube how to take minivan seats out, and they're there. And here I am like this, like an idiot. My dad's sitting there like this, just laughing like an idiot. Like, you stupid. This is my son? This is him? This is my fruit of my loins? Anyway, so I'm taking, finally I get them out. They're tricky. I shit can them. I literally picked them up and threw them in the, actually it was funny, my dad laughed. I picked them up, he's like, put them in the garage. I launched them like shot put in like a 6-foot thing of snow, a mountain of snow on the side of the house. I'm like, I'll do it later. Now he doesn't really use them because it's only like, it's for paint. So he just usually, you know, puts his radio on there, whatever, and I shit can them on there, both seats. And I'm like, don't worry, they'll be wet, I'll dry them. He goes, Steve, you're crazy. I'm like, just go inside. I'm gonna eat. My mom's like, leave him alone, leave him. I'm like, tell my cousin, get in the van. My mom or my wife drove with me. She gave me the money. She's ready. She goes, I'm gonna be on my phone. I'm gonna go do errands. I'm gonna go hang out with my girlfriends. You just do whatever. Let me know if you're alive. I'm like, cool. I'm like, all right. So I go to my cousin. Get your phone. Get your GPS. I don't know where this is now. Here's the issue. Normally, I wouldn't be so upset. I wouldn't be so worried. And you might be thinking, Steve, we're not stupid. We watch arcade videos, and we know math. These two machines, I'm maybe 5'6" at best. These are what, 6'1"? I don't know. Yeah, around 6'1", 6'2", the machines. These both will not fit in the back of the minivan. What are you going to do? My cousin's like, well, are we going to put on the roof? Or I don't understand. I'm like, listen, I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but we're in for one wild night. He's like, I'm down. Thank God. Now, I have an 8 since 12. My cousin has an 8 since 3. I'm going on fumes and adrenaline. I'm driving. Now, normally, if it was in Toronto, it'd be easy. Traffic, but easy. Boom, boom, pick up. It's an hour and a half away out of Toronto with good traffic. Toronto traffic is shit. So I'm looking at 2.5 hours per way. This is bad weather. And if there's an accident, I'm screwed. I do my cross. God be with me. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. My cousin, so we're driving and we're going at pretty good speed. So far the traffic's alright. Because we're going the opposite way of traffic. If you know Toronto, you know what I mean. We're going outside of the city. My cousin's like, Steve, you still haven't told me. How are we going to do both machines? And I'm like, John, here's one thing I didn't tell you. We're going to do a double back. That's not even a word. I don't even know where I got that phrase from. He goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, we're going to go there, pick it up, bring it back, and then go back with the other one for the second one, go back again. They're back, they're back. I'm nuts. So my friends tell me who had the truck, you're not going to do it. Impossible logistically. My wife's thinking, I'm going to lose my husband. My dad's like, I'm going to lose my kid. My brother's laughing. He's like, yo, sick. Yo, bring Killer Instinct, yo. I'm like, George, just stay home. Shut up. I would have brought you, but you're a liability, you dick. Everyone's like, you won't make it. It doesn't make sense. Even the guy that I was buying it from was like, you can't. There's no way you're going to make it in time. I'm like, you don't know me personally. I'll make it. I'll be there. Just stay in your home. I'll do the rest, alright? He's like, bring the money. He didn't give a shit. We're driving. Thank God the traffic was good. We arrive at this guy's house around 6:30. Yeah, 6:15, 6:30. So now it's winter, and his sun was down at 4:30, 5ish. It's dark as dark. It's dark. It's blowing snow. It's freezing rain. I have no food in me. My cousin's scared. Everyone's like, you're not going to make it. This guy's pressured to deadline. It's like a movie. Like, really. I'm sweating like this. And I'm just like this. My shirt, it's disgusting. I still have my work badge on. Anyways. We're driving, we get there. It turns out these machines were in his garage. I'm like, alright. Now remember, it's dead of winter in Canada, so the games are cold. You can't turn them on. You already know what that means. So I pull up, I reverse. He turns the games on to see them. I'm like, yeah, okay. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. His wife is nice. He had a kid. Dog was nice. He was a nice guy. Thank God. So far, everyone's been pretty good on my pickups. Been pretty good. So he's talking to me. Now, I always like getting information. Where did you get the game? You know, how did it work? So, for Killer Instinct 1, he got it from an arcade back in 2000 in Toronto, because he works there in Toronto, and he didn't tell me how much he got it for, which I don't care. I really don't. He goes, it's factory, he called it motherboard, the PCB, he said had work done on it, and it works great. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to hear work done. What does that mean? Some dickhead with the soldering? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want people like me working on the games. Because you said it was factory. So I didn't say anything. So what happens? So he got it from an arcade in 2000. He's had it ever since. He moved to a smaller home, so that's why they're in the garage. They've been in the garage for 3 years. Maybe because he smoked. He asked me for a cigarette. I'm like, no, only cigars. And anyways, he goes, you smoking? He goes, I only come out here with my younger son, who's like around 8 or something. And he goes, we only play maybe 3 times a year. People are, oh, what's that? They turn it on. Because he had tools and other shit in the garage. So it wasn't the priority, which is good because I know that he wants them gone. So the buttons are different. As you can see, it's blue and red. Now, and then they're black. Now, recently, I changed the controllers, which I have to tighten because yesterday we had a party, and they're very loose and so sensitive, you can't even do the moves well. So I have to maybe tweak these. So they had red and red. I'm like, no, those are not the right colors. Easy fix. Not the right colors. It looks okay. It looks okay, whatever. Now, the difference with this one is the back door, the key was broken in the door, so I couldn't look in the back. And it didn't have the coin mix. So I'm like, hey, I promised you the money. I told you I'll give it. He goes, okay, fine, whatever. So $1,500 I paid him. He counted. So we had to take the control panel apart because it wouldn't fit in the back of my dad's van. So we took this control panel off nicely. We didn't break it like in the Mortal Kombat. I know what I'm doing now. I took them off. So I was telling him, I didn't tell him I had an arcade. And I'm like, I remember when I was a kid, my cousins were like, hey, this is going to be cool if we get into it. So we pretty much got it for that reason. And he goes, okay, so I didn't really reveal too much, but I wasn't also dishonest. I'm like, yeah, I have Pac-Man, and, I want more. And he goes, okay, whatever. So I don't think he gave a shit. So he undid this. The back end couldn't get in, but I can see there's things in the bottom of the cabinet. I like that. It's kind of fun, right? Because it's exciting what's in there. So there's that. And then it was in pretty good condition. I saw it. There's had some monitor issues, but it didn't seem too big of a deal. So we took it out. We put it in the van. That's one. Everything was nice. It closed properly. We're ready. So by the time I grabbed ass and talked and whatever, I was at 7 o'clock-ish. By the time we loaded it and we kind of figured out, we was in the van at 7. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Now we're going back into Toronto. It's a Saturday night. It's busy. It's a big city. It's exciting. Usually. So Killer Instinct's all in the car, in the van. We're leaving. Everything's, so I told the guy, look, I'm going to be back. So it's 7, 8:30. So I said, what I said, it's an hour and a half, right? So it's 7, so 8:30, 10, I'll be back around 10. He goes, as long as you're here by 10:30, 11, we're fair. Because remember, it's an hour and a half to get there. I still have to take it upstairs to the apartment. And he goes, as long as you're here by 11, when we go to bed, no problem. Cool, Steve? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, thank you. Chris, I think his name. Yeah, Chris. I'm like, all right, Chris, I'll see you. And I'm like, all right, so I'm on my way. Problem. My dad, because the urgency was so quick, I never told my dad really what I was doing with it, but he knew it was an arcade. But more importantly, it was last minute. Now, everything's good. I'm good to go. Like, we're good, we're laughing. One thing, remember, I don't care about doing this. It's the timing. No gas. No gas! My dad didn't know to get gas. I didn't even think about telling him. He probably would have. He's pretty cool like that. And I'm like, yo, get gas. I got to do this. He didn't have gas, so I had to get that. Which again, I don't care. I'll pay. You know, it's $50, whatever. But the problem is, it's timing to get it, because I don't know where I am really. Like, yeah, it's out of Toronto, and I'm from the Greater Toronto area, but not this part, man. I'm like, where am I? So when I'm driving, the gas light comes on. I'm like, oh my god, it's snowing. What if? Oh my god, can you imagine the tow truck if I ran out of gas with killings in the back? I'm like, look, my cousin's. I'm like, look, keep your eyes peeled. He goes like, oh yeah, there's one there. There's an S or whatever. So we get in the actual gas station. I'm filling gas, and I'm like, oh my god, we're wasting time. So my stomach is growling, but I didn't hear. I didn't care. My cousin is like, Steve, again, I'm very strict with him, and I feel bad. He's a good kid. And he goes, Steve, I'm really hungry. I'm like, no, it's me too. I'm like, okay, let me grab something. The problem is, there's a restaurant, I think it was McDonald's or a Wendy's or whatever, across the street. But in order to get to that, you'd have to go around the highway. Like, it wasn't that easy. So that would have been another 15 minutes. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, John, we can't. And I'm like, it's going to be a gas station dinner. No, John, if you're watching this, they don't have eggs. I would have loved to. Like, if you watch John's Arcade, he gets gas station eggs. Not ours, not in Canada anyways, not in this one. In the middle of nowhere. So, there's no eggs. There's chips, pop, chocolate, Gatorade. And, like, I don't want energy drinks. I don't really like them, but I'm like, whatever, I'll get one. It was one of the Monster ones, I didn't care. Whatever. So I get that. Now, normally, I was thinking, let me get a bag of chips, but that's not really a meal. So, at the gas station, they had a sub. Like a submarine. And it was like a cold cut sub. Salami, cheese, whatever. Now, it was called the Super Sub. $3. This big. And I'm like, how? How does that make sense? So, the Super Sub, I got 2 of them. And I got 2 Monsters or Gatorade. I can't remember what. I think it was Gatorade, actually. Anyways. So, I come in, and my cousin's looking at me like, what is that? Like, I was laughing. And I'm like, hey, John, here's dinner. He goes, Super Sub? I'm like, eat it. I have to eat it, too. So, we peel the plastic back, which was hard to get open. I'm like, why? What's in this? We open it back. We're eating while we're driving. We couldn't waste time. And this Super Sub is so bad, it tastes like a fridge. Like, it tastes like an inside of a fridge. Like, it tastes cold, but not cold as temperature. Like, I don't even know what it just tasted like cold. Like, I don't know. It was gross. It was so gross. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. And the bread was so thick, and there was one little slice of cheese. I'm like, this sucks. He's like, Steve, why didn't you just buy Doritos? I'm like, I just thought a meal would have been better. So, reading this Super Sub, right? And it's not sitting well already. As soon as it went down, I'm like, ugh. But my mind's focused on timing. So, all goes well. We get to my apartment. Thank God, round 1 is done, almost. My wife's there waiting with us. Because I told her, look, you're not going to help us push it. All I want you to do is have our apartment door open while we bring these in. Is that fair? She goes, all right. My cousin and I take it out of the van. Now, it's a Saturday night. Where I live, it's very busy. It's a big building. So there's a lot of people parking, drop off, whatever. I take it out. Now, I have a blanket over it, like again, because I want to cover it. But I just put it over the monitor because there's no way, it's way too big. Like, so you can see spinal on the side. Now, I take it out, and the people there are very young and very old. It's like grandparents dropping off their kids, and to be honest, they're immigrants in a sense that they're new to I know they're new to the country because I saw them move in, and their background was like South Asian, like Indian, whatever, and I really don't think they know about this, especially the older or very younger. So And I'm like, I should be pretty safe. So I'm sitting there, and we're taking the machine out, perfect. We're taking the control panel out, making sure nothing's fallen. We're covering it. We got the dolly. Actually, no, I didn't use the dolly. I just used I used its wheels. I didn't even use the dolly because my dolly's still flattened, and I'll explain what happened on that in the months to come. We've dragged it up. We're good. Now, down here was this secure, like a padlock, a secure bar, like when it was, when they for security. So it was in like location years ago. And it was hanging because the part that hangs onto it where you put the lock was off, like broke. So it was kind of just hanging, kind of scraping on the floor, but I didn't care, right? Because even if it made a couple dings, I wanted it out. I can repaint, I don't care. So what happens? It's dragging on the floor, and I know this. My cousin, I'm like, yeah, just let it. It's 2 seconds. It won't scratch, don't worry. Some old man who I don't know who's smoking, which like, and the reason I say because he comes up, he didn't say hi, he didn't say nothing, and he starts to try to fix the padlock. I'm like, hey, everything's okay, man, because I didn't want to be a dick to him because I didn't want him to to start asking questions. What is this? What if it's family? Like I always get a little paranoid. So I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'm gonna take it off later. He's like, no, I know, I will fix. No, and I'm back home. I know how to fix. I'm like, back home. I'm like, no. I'm good. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, don't. It's like trying to pet like a stray cat. You're like, I'm like, come on. I'm like, now I'm getting pissed off. I'm like, look, leave it. I have to get this upstairs. I gotta go. He looks at me. He's like, oh, I just try to help him. I'm like, I thank you. Maybe he's probably being sincere, and I thank him, but you don't know what you're doing. Like what? Like you can't fix it. You can't. There's no hook. You like beat it. Get out of here. So he's just sitting there smoking with his 2 other guys like this. They're Arab. They're probably telling me I'm a small dick. I don't know. They're probably laughing at me saying, what is that? Maybe they're wondering what it is. We're dragging it to the elevator. Thank God there's no one there. So we took the service elevator, but we didn't have like rights to it. Like it was just whoever. So it's a little bigger. So we get in there and we ram it in. So it's us 2. So we get it upstairs and it's jammed in the elevator's, like, where the elevator and like the floor meet? It's kind of like there's something stuck. It's jammed. I'm like, oh my God. And the elevator, they just got new ones. It's like, doo, 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 like when it's taking longer and it's going off like an alarm. I'm like, fuck, I don't want people knowing. So, and then I'm trying to and I'm literally pushing the thing, and it's making so much noise. I'm like, that's it, I broke it, it's over. And I told my cousin to lift, he lifted it, we finally got it out, scratching the floor to shit. We roll it into the apartment loud, and then I get it there. So, we get it there, my wife is there, she's like, keep it down, keep it down. We get it in there, control panel's there. I plug it in really quick. Like I saw the line on because it really didn't come on because the control panel wasn't plugged in. So I'm like, okay, look, it works. I don't care. So whatever. I don't know if I broke something. I don't care. I just want out. I plugged it in. I unplugged it. My wife's like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, or I'm gonna hang out. I'm like, you guys do whatever you gotta do. So it's around 9. It's around 9-ish, 8:45. No, it's 9-ish. That's right, because I had to stop at the gas station in the super sub. I'm like, ugh. So, Killer Instinct 1 is in the apartment. It's safe. It's mine. Round 2. My cousin's, I'm like, yo, are you ready for this? He goes, Steve, I just ate. I don't feel too good. Something's not sitting right. I'm like, John, man, you gotta get through it. I don't feel well either. That sub didn't sit well. Drink the Gatorade. Here's a bottle of water. Let's talk. So we started to, so we're downstairs. We're out. My wife's doing her thing, working on doing whatever. And that's pretty much the Killer Instinct 1 pickup. It went very smooth. Very fairly smooth. So that's the pickup. Now, I'm going to do all of Killer Instinct 1, and then the Killer Instinct 2 will be kind of the second part of the pickup because we picked up this and then the second one. So it might be, again, we're gonna have to wait through part 1 to 5. Part 1 of the pickup will be Killer Instinct 1, and then you'll see the funny continuation of finally picking up Killer Instinct 1 and completing this transaction. Do I recommend doing this? No. Would I ever do this again? Yes, if I had to, but will I be more prepared? Yes. I'd recommend not doing that. It takes a special person and someone with a lot of patience. I am when it comes to this, but I just wanted it out, and also, my cousin was really cool. So, and the next, so that's pretty much Killer Instinct Part 1. That was the pickup. I know it went a little longer, even though I said I usually don't want to, but I had to tell you the full story and some funny things as well. So that's Killer Instinct 1. The second one will be when I do the pickup for Killer Instinct 2 will be a lot shorter, though I have some funny stories in that one. So that's Killer Instinct 1. Next video we're going to be taking a look at the cabinet. I'm going to be pulling it out. We're going to be looking at the cabinet and some cool things, because remember, this Chris guy that sold it to me told me they played around with the PCB, the PCB, the motherboard, and I didn't really have a chance to look at it, because as soon as I picked it up, I'm like, okay, it looks good, let's go. So we're going to be taking a look at inside the machine and doing the whole cabinet review. And again, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. New videos coming out every week. I'm having, again, a lot of fun doing it, and I'm going to just keep growing the channel. And by the time I release this video, I've already released my special presentation video, and I hope you guys like that. So again, I'm growing the channel. I'm excited. I'm happy to do it. I'm getting a lot of feedback. It's growing slowly. I want it to grow and to help as much as I can. So guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again for choosing Top Tier. Subscribe if you haven't. If you're a video game or an arcade fan, please hit me up. Let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Leave comments, thumb it up or down. Totally up to you. And it's been a pleasure. All the best, and thanks for choosing Top Tier.